So much for joining us for Good Day Atlanta. Fox 5 News Live is coming up next, both on the broadcast and our live stream on Fox Local Atlanta.
And you can stay connected to Fox 5 around the clock. We're live streaming throughout the day on our website, fox5atlanta.com, on Fox Local for your smartphones and streaming devices, and on the Fox 5 Radio 1 network at 107.9 HD2 FM. You can also follow us on social media, like us on Facebook, follow us on X, Instagram, and Fox 5 Atlanta.
And here we go at 11 a.m. Thanks so much for joining us for Fox 5 News Live on this Thursday morning. I'm Tyler Fingert. I'll be joining you in the next hour to give you the top stories and the weather that we are seeing in our area. We'll get to all the top headlines in just a moment, but I want to talk about this one that broke overnight. And this has to do with a deadly shooting that left a child and an adult killed in DeKalb County. So this is what we know. Officers were called to the 2400 block of Rockcliffe Road, Southeast, just after 4 o'clock this morning after receiving reports of gunfire. When they arrived, they found 2 victims dead at the scene. Investigators have confirmed one of those victims was a child. In the last little bit, we have learned from a family member the child killed was 13-year-old DeMarcus Shirley. You're looking at a picture that family member gave to us. Investigators say other people were in the home but were not injured in the shooting. DeMarcus's great uncle talked to us on camera and says this is a big loss. Let's take a listen.
Energetic, athletic, intelligent. He was kind of around me. Of course, I'm an adult, so he was always soft-spoken around me and cooperative. And he got along well with my son. And he's just a growing young man with a bright future ahead, man.
At this point, police have not said what led up to the shooting and whether any suspect has been identified or if any arrests have been made. But again, you're looking at a picture of the victim on your screen right now. He's identified by a family member as 13-year-old DeMarcus Shirley. The investigation continues at this hour as detectives work to piece together exactly what happened. Anyone with information is urged to contact the DeKalb County Police Department. A shocking story in DeKalb today. We're also following another story, this one out of Riverdale. We now know a man accused of shooting his pregnant girlfriend is behind bars. This is a picture of him. Police were able to track him down in an Atlanta apartment complex, and he could have his first court appearance this hour. The Riverdale Police Department announced that officers captured Jarrell Clark in Atlanta. He's accused of shooting his pregnant girlfriend on June 20th at a home along Taylor Road. Atlanta police officers located Clark at an apartment complex following a multi-agency search. Riverdale officials publicly commended the Atlanta Police Department for their assistance in safely locking up the suspect. Police have not revealed the specific details surrounding how officers safely located and caught Clark at the property. It's also unclear what medical condition the girlfriend and her unborn child are in following that June shooting. Another story we're following, certainly a startling one, this one out of Cedartown. It has to do with a 4-year-old child who appears to have been possibly abused at a preschool. So this is a story that's trending online. A Polk County preschool employee is facing allegations of inappropriate conduct with a 4-year-old child, which has now sparked a police investigation. The child's father says his son used to be a happy 4-year-old, and then a few weeks ago, he noticed a change. He says he asked him if something was going on that he wanted to talk about and if he was being touched inappropriately. He said his son said yes and that there were multiple incidents. Cedartown First Methodist Preschool sent a letter to parents saying, quote, Cedartown First Methodist Preschool has received allegations of potential improper conduct by an employee involving a child. The school says it contacted local and state authorities immediately and placed the employee on leave. Cedartown Police Chief Jamie Newsom confirms his department is investigating, and he says they intend to go where the evidence takes us. Newsom says the school is cooperating with the investigation, but certainly startling allegations out of Polk County. I want to talk about another story that we're following here in our Fox 5 newsroom, and this one has to do with an early morning fire that happened out in Cobb County. A fire heavily damaged a wholesale silk flower business in Cobb early Thursday morning. Firefighters responded to Silk World Inc. on Veterans Memorial Highway, where heavy flames were seen spreading through the building as crews worked to bring the fire under control. You can see right now just the fierce flames that those firefighters had to deal with today. Silk World Inc. is a wholesale supplier of silk flowers flowers and related products, according to its website. The good news here, no injuries have been reported, but as you might imagine, that building a complete loss after those flames tore through. And thankfully that fire happened overnight, because the extreme heat would have made things even worse for firefighters. Let's take a live look outside. It is not just hot outside today. It could be dangerous. You're looking live at Sandy Springs, Lake Lanier, and FIFA Fan Festival, where all of those places definitely steamy yesterday. Parts of North Georgia are under a rare excessive heat warning this afternoon, with feels like temperatures approaching 110 degrees. And here in Metro Atlanta, a heat advisory is also in effect. To make matters worse, severe storms are also possible today. So let's bring in Fox 5 Storm Team meteorologist Lauren Robinson now with a check of the forecast. And Lauren, I mean, we know it's incredibly hot and dangerous out there. Excessive heat warnings are pretty rare for our area. And then on top of that, the daytime heating could bring severe storms later on.
Yeah, it's a lot like what we saw yesterday. Yesterday we saw some severe storms pop up. A couple of areas even got some good size hail, maybe up to a quarter size hail, and we saw similar temperatures. So the temperatures are a lot like what we've been seeing the last few days, where we've continued to have these heat alerts all across North Georgia. So we're going to continue to watch for that. But yeah, we do have the chance maybe for a few isolated severe storms as well. So almost an exact repeat of what we had yesterday. The only difference being today is Thursday. That's drought monitor day. So as we take a look across Georgia and across North Georgia, we're actually mostly unchanged from the last week. For several weeks, we've been getting improvement after improvement after improvement. This week's monitor not changed very much in any of the categories. So to me, that's good news, because I was worried that we were going to offset some of our progress with as dry and hot as we've been. So thankfully, we've remained unchanged, which to me is a minor win. Now, as we take a look at our current temperatures, most of North Georgia has warmed up into the upper 80s to low 90s. And of course, at 11:06 in the morning, we still have plenty more heating to go. But we're at 91 degrees in downtown Atlanta. That's our hot spot on the map for now. 90 degrees in Covington. The rest of North Georgia seeing those middle to upper 80s. Now, let's take a look at what happens once you factor in the humidity. We go to our heat index values, and it already feels like triple digits in Atlanta. Oh boy, I'm sweating looking at these numbers. 102 degrees is our heat index right now in downtown Atlanta. Covington seeing a heat index at 106, 100 in Athens, and again, we're still warming up. This is where we're just getting going. We're not even at our peak for the day. So be prepared for dangerous levels of heat and humidity as we go through the rest of the day. So because of that, we do have widespread heat alerts, and really what we're looking for all across North Georgia is going to be heat index values near 108 to 110 degrees. Those are real numbers. That's what it's going to feel like if you're outside today. It's going to feel like up to 110 degrees. So what that means is you want to make sure you're staying hydrated with water. There's a lot of other fun beverages out there. Stay hydrated with water. Maybe throw some electrolytes in. That's it. And you want to make sure you're seeking that shade and shelter whenever necessary. Check on your elderly neighbors and relatives, and bring those pets inside. It is far too hot for them to be out there. Now, as we take a look at our live Viper radar, we don't have any sort of organized storm systems pushing through. So any sort of storms we see today will largely be isolated, hit or miss. They're mostly going to be pretty brief. We're not looking for anything too widespread today. The same goes for our Friday, and then the same goes for our Saturday, and then the same goes for our Sunday. Are we seeing a trend? Exactly. Thank you. You got where I'm going with this, Tyler. If you see a trend there, that's because each day is relatively going to be kind of a lather, rinse, and repeat. We're looking for high heat, high humidity, mostly dry, but a hit or miss shower or storm chance. So as we take a look at our current severe weather outlook, most of North Georgia is under that level 2 for severe weather today. That means any one of those pop-up storms this afternoon through this evening does have the potential for damaging wind gusts. That's going to be our biggest threat. We could also see some moderate to large size hail. We're also looking for a lot of lightning and thunder, and then maybe some heavy downpours that could lead to some localized flooding. So as we take a look at those temperatures, though, the other big story, with temperatures in the upper 90s, add 5 to 10 degrees to that, because that's what it's going to feel like once you factor in the humidity. So air temperatures in the upper 90s means heat index values well into the triple digits. Overnight, We don't cool off much. We're cooling down into the middle to upper 70s again, so that means our overnight hours, even once the sun has set, even after the sun has been to bed for a few hours, it's still going to feel like the 80s and 70s out there. So that's where we're just going to continue to see this hot stretch all the way through our 4th of July weekend. So if you're planning the next few days all the way into the holiday, the biggest thing to be prepared for is the heat and humidity. That's factor number one. That's going to be what encompasses the majority and the entirety of our viewing area. Outside of that, the next factor, you want to watch for those hit or miss showers and storms. So if you have those outdoor plans, maybe make sure you have an umbrella or a plan B to go inside. We want to remember when thunder roars, go indoors, and then you can head back outside once the storm passes, because any sort of storm these next few days will be pretty brief.
Yeah, we saw that yesterday. I was out at the stadium, Atlanta Stadium, for the World Cup match working, and we had lightning and thunder come through, and it rained for all of what felt like maybe 2 minutes, and then by the time we found our safe place to be, it was already cleared out.
Yeah, and that's more of what we're expecting, because we don't have any organized complexes pushing through, so it's really going to be those popcorn storms is what I like to call them.
And it was incredibly uncomfortable out there.
Oh, it's soupy. It gets soupy.
I was like, I probably went through like 10 of these bottles of water just to make sure I was ready for what we were dealing with yesterday. Lauren, thank you so much. And you might be interested in this next story. It has to do with, obviously, the weather. We know that DeKalb County is talking about just how the heat is affecting people. So they just held a news conference just a little bit ago. Let's take a listen to it together.
And I'd like to say that extreme heat has become more than a seasonal occurrence. Across the state of Georgia, across the region, and also globally for that matter, we are seeing huge spikes in heat. And it is more now than just a matter of rising temperatures. What we're dealing with is a matter of public safety, workforce safety, and it's also a challenge that requires proactive leadership. In DeKalb County, we believe in preparing for a crisis, not being responsive after one occurs. And that's why today we've held this press conference to announce a comprehensive response to extreme heat. An initiative that is designed to protect our most vulnerable residents, support community, and also provide for the public safety of our employees during periods of high heat. It is expected that these temperatures will continue to rise throughout the summer. And our first priority in DeKalb County is protecting, at this moment, our homeless. During periods of extreme heat, we are announcing today that community day centers will continue to operate, but they will be operational as cooling centers. These centers will provide a safe, cool space, as well as water, but also we will be providing wraparound services at all of our cooling stations. And the wraparound services we will provide include housing, as well as health screenings, employment resources, and other services that are designed to assist some of DeKalb County's most vulnerable residents. In just a few moments, you'll hear from Director Alan Mitchell, who is responsible for community development, and he'll share more about those resources. We're also expanding resources for all DeKalb County residents. So during periods of extreme heat, we will offer free admissions to our swimming pools. This will give families access to a place to cool off, but also to hydrate, and they will serve as cooling stations along with our recreation centers across the county. Later, you'll hear from Director Chris Bass, and he will provide more information on those centers. I'm also taking meaningful steps to protect DeKalb County employees, because many of our employees that we rely on tremendously are frontline workers. They are also our essential workers. So beginning July 1st through September 1st, this is the period of time through which we expect the highest temperatures. Department directors will have the discretion of increasing remote working for our non-essential employees. For employees whose work must be performed outside, our sanitation workers, Department of Parks and Recreation, we are encouraging operational adjustments where possible to better accommodate. So we will shift hours to earlier in the morning, beginning earlier work schedules, also including hydration breaks, providing water, and also ensuring access to cool and shaded areas throughout the day. Our sanitation workers, first responders, our watershed crew, and park employees, as well as our road maintenance teams, and many others work tirelessly in this county. And their health and safety is our first priority during this time. We're here to protect our employees while also ensuring that our plan allows us to continue delivering the critical services that people require throughout the county for all residents. This action also advances our sustainability goals. By reducing unnecessary commutes during the hottest months of the year, we're lowering vehicle emissions, we're also improving air quality, and we're reducing traffic congestion. And we are doing our part to minimize our global warming and our carbon footprint here in DeKalb County. Sometimes the best solutions protect both people and the planet. And this initiative does exactly that. You'll also hear from Director C.J. Avery, who will provide imported heat safety information through our DEMA department. And as temperatures continue to climb, I encourage everyone to take a few simple precautions. We also want to ask you during this time to lean into our furry friends. Make sure that your pets have continual access to cool water, cool areas, and shaded spaces. So make sure that you hydrate yourselves. Where possible, please limit your outdoor activity during this time. Wear light clothing and light colored clothing. Also, I urge everyone to lean into community. Let's check on our seniors, also our neighbors, and individuals who may be vulnerable to heat-related illnesses. Protecting our most vulnerable neighbors, supporting our residents, and safeguarding our employees are very important, and they help us build a more sustainable future. I'd like to also thank Director Mitchell, Director Bass, and everyone who's worked with me on the rollout of our initiatives and revisions to our work days for employees who will be bound by our new remote work policies that we set in place last year. And at this time, I will ask Director Alan Mitchell to come forward.
And you've been listening to Lorraine Cochran-Johnson, the DeKalb County CEO, talking about the extreme heat that we are seeing here in the metro Atlanta area and the efforts that they are taking to try to keep the citizens of DeKalb County safe. We're going to continue to monitor it and bring you any details we get from that news conference throughout the day, bring you updates throughout the day here on Fox 5 News and Fox 5 News Live and all of our streaming platforms. I want to talk about another story that is certainly trending online. I think it's one of our top stories that we have on fox5atlanta.com right now, and it has to do with a stomach bug surge happening in many states across the nation, including here in Georgia. I'm not sure this is the right video for this story. If not, we can just come back to me here. So essentially, this is a stomach bug surge that's happening across many states, including Georgia. And so health officials are on high alert ahead of the holiday weekend. State health departments are investigating a massive outbreak of cyclosporiasis. And so it's a parasite that affects the intestines and that can cause severe and sometimes explosive diarrhea. It's a severe intestinal illness, and it spreads through contaminated food and water. The CDC has identified 140 145 domestically acquired cases, over 17 states so far. Investigators said those infected became ill after eating food in the United States and reported no international travel. So certainly something to be monitoring, especially as we head into the holiday weekend. So let's take a live look outside at the Empire State Building in New York City. If you had any idea and been watching anything online recently over the last 24 hours, you probably saw this. This was a story that certainly was going viral yesterday, and it was after a couple apparently scaled the Empire State Building. Look at this video right here. So obviously the observation deck at the Empire State Building exists on the 102nd floor, but for some people that was not quite high enough. In this scene that captivated New York City on Wednesday, a pair of climbers scaled the antenna of one of the city's most recognizable landmarks. No visible tethers or equipment to help. They unfurled this massive banner at the top that read, "The Power of Love." Then they took in the view of the 5 boroughs from 1,400 feet in the sky, but they weren't done there. After climbing back down to a lower ledge, one climber dropped to his knee and popped the question, and it does look like she said yes. I want you to take a look at the body camera footage showing the moment NYPD officers caught up with the climbers. Let's take a look.
You guys need to cooperative?
You cooperate? Matt, you're on?
On, that's your room.
I bring her to the other side.
It's open over there.
Just bring her over there so he can come down
Just so you're,
before he goes back up. What language you guys speak?
Russian.
And that was body camera video of their arrest. You're now looking at the perp walk for one of the suspects, and you'll see the other one in just a moment. Police have identified the two as 32-year-old Ivan Kuznetsov and 33-year-old Angela Nicolau. It was not their first daredevil climb. They've previously been featured in a Netflix documentary about their sky-high stunts around the world. Definitely captivated New York City, and I'll say multiple places across the country watching this unfold. I know we had a chopper above the scene yesterday watching this. As we come back into our newsroom on this Thursday morning, we still have a lot more ahead here on Fox 5 News Live at 11 o'clock. We're going to take you down to Savannah to talk about some Revolutionary War cannons that are now on display. We're back in just 2 minutes. And welcome back to Fox 5 News Live at 11 a.m. We're approaching 11:24 on this Thursday morning. I'm Tyler Fingert. We're so glad you're here. We want to talk about one of the big events happening this weekend, and it's going to be happening across the country, and it's America's 250th birthday. America 250, it's known as, and we're just days away from celebrating it. From Atlanta to New York City to Washington, D.C., major events are planned to celebrate this once-in-a-generation moment. It's going to be a July 4th, unlike any other, starting with 8 red, white, and blue ball drops in New York City on July 3rd, block parties in several U.S. cities, and the largest fireworks show ever in the nation's capital on July 4th. But the grand events also require grand security, with more than 1 million people expected to gather in our nation's capital. Local officials are now ramping up security at every America 250 event. Drones are the largest security concern, and federal officials have seized more than 400 so far during the World Cup. So there is definitely concern that drones could be a problem during the America 250 celebration this weekend. Violators face criminal charges and hefty fines. So we come back into our newsroom now. Let's talk about more about this 250th anniversary, and it's just in time for America's 250th birthday. A piece of Revolutionary War history that spent more than 2 centuries hidden underwater is now on display. Fox's Amy Gallo joins us live from Savannah with the story of 19 cannons discovered at the bottom of the Savannah River. And Amy, thanks so much for being here.
Yeah, this is such an exciting story and came at the perfect time. Now, these cannons were discovered back in 2021, but for several years, conservators worked real hard to get them back to their former glory, and they did it just in time for today, the grand opening of this exhibit. Take a listen to how they cleaned up these cannons, which were underwater for 240 years.
Electric currents essentially through a water bath that they were in, and it desalinates the ironwork, so it stabilizes the iron to be on land. And then in the final treatments, they're painted with tannic acid and given a spa treatment, dip in wax, so that they can have a very long life here on land.
And that work was done by conservators over at Texas A&M. This was discovered on accident by a crew that was working with the Army Corps, and they were dredging the Savannah River, trying to make it deeper when they accidentally pulled up one cannon, and then there were 18 others.
And so Amy, like, this is, I mean, obviously incredibly cool. We obviously heard the restoration process being able to bring these back to, I guess, essentially life, so they can put these on display. Can you just talk a little bit about what they hope people actually get from this exhibit? I mean, obviously it's history, so they want people to be able to learn about maybe where these came from. But do they have a specific message they want people to learn?
Of course, yeah. I mean, the big thing here is trying to put a focus on Savannah's revolutionary history. With Savannah, we tend to think about the Civil War, right? The big role it played there. But Savannah was also pivotal in the American Revolution. And in my time here, I've been able to learn not just about these cannons, right? Which the story for them is very fascinating. I'll get to that in a second. But mainly learning about what the role here was for Savannah. This was an English stronghold for the American Revolution. So the British were pretty strong here, and they held on to their power here, while a lot of the other colonies were rebelling and doing so in a much bigger way, right? But this was a big stronghold for them. As for these cannons, these were abandoned by the British shortly before the Battle of Savannah, which was the bloodiest battle of the American Revolution. They stuck those in the water, hoping that it would keep the French allies from making their way up the narrowest part of the river, and that's where they remained.
I mean, incredible. I love American history and being able to learn about something in our state. Obviously, we're in Atlanta. It's about a 4.5 hour drive to get down there to be able to see this. Is this going to be a permanent fixture in the museum? And what can you tell people about maybe if they're looking to come visit?
Yeah, this is going to be permanent. These cannons are here to stay. They were found in Savannah, so what a fitting place for them to now be and live the rest of their life here, right here at the Savannah History Museum. You're able to stop by. This is just one of many exhibits here. It's opening up today, so they're doing their grand opening for this exhibit, and after that, it's open to the public, and they'll be here for years to come.
Just in time for America's 250th birthday, Amy Gallo in Savannah, Georgia. Thanks so much for joining us here on Fox 5 News Live. We do appreciate it. And also just in time for America's 250th birthday, did you watch last night? Team USA had a stunner of a victory, and fans of the team erupted into cheers. Let's take a listen to the moment as everyone celebrated this big win. Just hear how everyone is just erupting into cheers, the celebration. I'm sure you could hear that if you were out and about at bars or watching at different places that were having watch parties, as Team USA secured a spot in the round of 16. The U.S. men's national team survived the knockout round last night in its 2-0 match against Bosnia in Santa Clara, California. The match gave the U.S. only its second World Cup round of 32 win and marked America's first win against a European team since 2002. The U.S. will now face off with Belgium in the round of 16 on Monday at Seattle Stadium, with hopes to put up a fight on home soil. And I want you to take a listen to what one of the star players from Team USA had to say just minutes after the win.
USA moves on. Christian, how would you describe what it took in terms of the effort?
I mean, yeah, we had to dig deep for that one. Obviously, I felt we put on such a good performance and didn't deserve the red card. I mean, I didn't see it, but it's unfortunate. But for us to dig in deep like that and just to get another goal and to defend the way we did, it took a real team effort. So we're proud of that.
From your POV, the Tillman goal, how would you describe it?
I mean, honestly, I have to watch it back. I was like, in play, it's hard to see. I was trying to follow up maybe if there's a rebound. So, I mean, but that's what he does. It was special. He's so good at those. And, yeah, to see it go in, it was amazing.
This team has talked about belief. It's talked about its togetherness and cohesion. What does it take from a win like this? 35-plus minutes, 10 men.
I mean, it takes a lot. The guys had to really, like I said, had to dig in deep. It didn't go exactly to plan with the red card, but that just shows what a good team we are. We said in the hydration break, this is what it takes to be a really strong team, and we were able to do it and pull out the result.
Well done and moving on. Appreciate the time.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and again, Team USA will now take on Belgium in Seattle next week. And obviously, everyone's going to be watching that one for the round of 16 match. And hopefully, Team USA just continues to do well. And obviously, we had a big matchup here in Atlanta yesterday between the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The big match yesterday taking a big change because DR Congo was up for much of that match until England was able to come back with two big goals with just a couple minutes left to go in the match. And that place will come alive again. Atlanta Stadium, you're looking live at right now, will come alive again next week for our second to last match here in the city. And obviously, being a Fox station, we'll continue to keep you updated throughout the World Cup. As we come back into our newsroom now on this Thursday morning, we still have a lot more ahead here on Fox 5 News Live at 11 o'clock. We're back in 2 minutes.
Author
11:34 on this Thursday morning. Thanks so much for sticking with us for Fox 5 News Live. I'm Tyler Fingert. Remember, this is an interactive news conversation, so if you're joining us on any of our streaming platforms, you can join us in the comments, and we'll try to answer your questions if you have anything. If you're watching us on air, thanks for being here. As we continue on here on this Thursday morning, let's talk about something that is vitally important right now, and this has to do with hunger. It's reaching a critical level across Metro Atlanta, with the Atlanta Community Food Bank now serving more people each month than it did before the pandemic. And we know the pandemic was a big time for them. Our Maria Guzman is live there this morning with a look at the growing need. Maria, good morning.
Hey, Tyler, good morning. I'm inside the Atlanta Community Food Bank warehouse, and on any day they can hold up to 8 million pounds of food. But every day here, 250,000 pounds of food go out from this warehouse to our community. They work with more than 700 different partners, and that food goes across 29 different counties. So they serve a big area across Georgia, but they're also seeing a big jump, just more mouths to fill. So to talk to us just more about that here, I do have the CEO, Kyle. So Kyle, just the first question as we talk about this, walk me through the big need you guys are seeing, the big demand right now in 2026 compared to 2020, for example.
Yeah, so lines are getting longer at food pantries all across Atlanta and North Georgia. Inflation and affordability issues have created just a lot of economic pressure on more of our neighbors. We're serving 70 to 80% more people today than we did just 5 years ago. More of our neighbors are needing help providing all the food that they need for their families. They're paying more for gas and groceries, for housing and health care. And as a result, they need more help from us. So we're working really hard to get more food, get it out into the community, and make sure everybody in Atlanta has enough food.
You know, I really want to ask you why the big jump in those 6 years, just some of the reasons that you can provide on why people are just needing more help right now.
Well, I think we all have experienced going to the grocery store and getting a little sticker shock when we see the final tally on what we're buying every week. We've seen prices go up at the gas pump. Housing and healthcare costs continue to go up for consumers. And for low and moderate income families across North Georgia, that's just putting more and more economic pressure on their monthly budgets. They're having a harder time making ends meet. They need more help from us. About 30% of our client base across our network are first-time users of the food bank network. Again, this is because people are needing help today in a way that they didn't used to. And it's all related to what's happening in the economy.
Walk me through operation in this warehouse. I mean, it's huge. So just walk me on the day-to-day here on how things look like here.
Yeah, so this is one of the largest food bank facilities in the world. We can, with this facility, source food from a wide array of sources, working with farmers and grocery stores and manufacturers, distributors, government. We buy a lot of food, get it here, and then get it out to our network of partners. We have about 700 great partners across the community that we supply with food, and they then can get it to families in need in their local community.
You know, we're right in the middle of the summer, so what's the big challenge and obstacle that you guys see in the summer months?
Well, look, during the summer, food insecurity is with us year round. We have to feed people throughout the year, but this is a time of year when financial donations and food donations are a little softer, and it happens to be a time when kids are not in school. Those kids rely on school breakfast and school lunch as part of their food budget for their family. When they don't have access to that, that puts more financial pressure on those families' monthly budget for food, which means they then need more help from us. So we're at a period of growing demand with less resources, which means it's a great time for people to get engaged, to find out how they can help us do our important work.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kyle. So, Tyler, I'm going to be here all afternoon, so stay with us as we talk about the big demand that they are seeing here.
Maria, thanks so much for a look inside. Obviously, very important work. I've been there before doing stories for Fox 5. They do vital work, especially during the summer for families in need. Maria, thank you. We'll see you a little bit later. And as we continue on here on this Thursday morning, I want to talk about something else that might impact people who might be having or dealing with an affordability crisis. And this has to do with a new trend in real estate, where we're seeing listing prices that could actually boost affordability as the housing market shifts to a buyer's market again. New data from Realtor.com says the national median price for a home dropped 2.5% in June compared to a year ago. That's the steepest asking price drop for a month going back to 2017, so almost a decade ago, and the 8th consecutive month of price decreases. One Realtor.com economist says sellers are being more realistic to market conditions in their pricing now, rather than pricing high and then cutting later to get prospective buyers. Pending home sales also rose 3.7% year over year in June, the 7th consecutive month of growth for that market. Let's talk about a different story that is also certainly trending right now, and this has to do with the food you eat. The FDA has just increased the serious level of a recall involving a popular brand of potato chips. The FDA issued a Class 1 recall for certain varieties of Zapp's and Dirty potato chips because of potential salmonella contamination. The latest announcement from the FDA comes after the chips' first recall back in May. The company said after the first recall that a potential contaminant may be present in the milk powder used as an ingredient in the product by a third-party supplier. However, the affected seasoning batches did test negative for salmonella prior to use. The affected chip varieties were sold at retailers nationwide and have a Best Buy dates ranging from July 2026 to this month and August, so next month. The company who operates the brand says it has not received any complaints of illness in connection with the affected products, but consumers are urged to discard those chips. As we come back into our newsroom on this Thursday morning, we still have a lot more ahead here on Fox 5 News Live at 1 o'clock, including, I'm assuming, one of our producers' favorite stories. Ella's probably been talking about this for the last couple of days, and it's Taylor Swift's wedding. We're going to be talking about it just ahead. And welcome back to Fox 5 News Live at 11 a.m. on this Thursday. The time now 11:44. Thanks so much for being here as we continue on. I'm Tyler Fingert. I want to talk about the story that certainly has a lot of people talking, and that is the wedding, or the rumors of the wedding of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. They are apparently getting married tomorrow at Madison Square Garden in New York City. Fox's Kaylee Schuyler joins us live from outside of the arena with the details. Kaylee, what can you tell us?
Hey, Tyler. Well, it's been pretty calm out here for the most part so far this morning. We haven't seen any huge groups of Swifties just yet. Maybe they're all at work and they're going to come out later. But what we have seen, you can see some of it back here behind me. Earlier, NYPD was kind of unloading some of these barriers onto the sidewalk, looking like they're preparing for some street closures. However, we have not received confirmation from Swift or Kelce that they are officially holding their wedding at MSG, but there have been some signs and some clues that people are looking into. So some are wondering, how in the world are they going to turn this arena into a wedding venue? And others think this may just be all a big ploy to throw everybody off.
I definitely think Travis and Taylor are getting married here this weekend, 100%. I think anything's possible in this city. I think it could look really good up in there.
And I had heard earlier in the week that Taylor Swift and Kelce, Travis Kelce, may get married. I actually booked a room early at the New Yorker, which is, just 2 minutes away.
Okay, so sources tell Fox a rehearsal dinner is happening later today at the Garden with 100 guests, followed by a wedding celebration tomorrow with around 1,000 people. Crews have been hard at work for days at MSG. TMZ reporting that Swift and Kelce are turning the inside of the arena into a castle and creating a lifelike garden. Sources tell Fox it's expected to be a black tie celebration with a strict no phone policy for guests, vendors, and even security. According to Fox News Digital, the NYPD is preparing for an event starting today through the wee hours of Saturday morning, involving street closures, hundreds of VIPs, and more. And keep in mind, this would all be happening heading into a jam-packed 4th of July weekend in the city. America 250 organizers are expecting 8 million visitors. Then combine that with the World Cup fans, and it could be a travel nightmare. But the NYPD is assuring everyone that they're on top of security no matter what happens this weekend.
Will make sure that we have the appropriate resources based on their threat assessment for that specific private event.
And adding to the speculation, TMZ posted photos of Travis Kelce taking a jog through the city just earlier this week. So I guess we'll find out sooner rather than later if this thing is really on or not, Tyler.
Well, and she lives in New York, from my understanding. But for someone who's not from New York, and I don't think Travis Kelce is from New York either, this seems like an interesting choice to try to choose Madison Square Garden for a wedding. Because if you know Taylor Swift, she likes the extravagant, and I would have thought maybe something on like a countryside somewhere. She lives in an arena anyway when she is a performer, as she's out on tour. So MSG just seems like an interesting choice, doesn't it?
Yeah, that was my initial reaction. I was like, there's no way. But I guess I thought, she has a home in Rhode Island. It's very beautiful there. I thought, why wouldn't she have the wedding in Rhode Island at her home, But maybe that's too obvious. I don't know. But some of the fans were saying, if there's anyone that can turn MSG into a magical wedding celebration, it would be Taylor Swift. So I've changed my opinion multiple times about whether I think they're actually getting married here or not. So it's just so interesting. And everyone I've talked to, it's about a 50-50 split, whether they think it's actually on or not.
Well, Kaylee, my question is, are you just doing this live shot for us to kind of throw us off? Were you invited to this wedding? I heard there's like 1,000 people invited. Are you one of them?
Yeah. That's the story. I'm going to Taylor Swift's wedding, and I can't talk about it. I've signed an NDA.
That would be super cool. I'm sure all the people on that list going are gonna fully take in that moment. The friends and family, but also the ones who maybe wouldn't have thought they would have been invited. Kaylee, thanks so much for the details there, and stay cool. I'm sure it's warm up there in New York City right now.
Thank you. Yeah.
And we still have a lot more ahead here on Fox 5 News Live at 11 a.m. So if you looked at the calendar, you know that this weekend is not just America 250, but it is also the Peachtree Road Race. We're going to be checking in with our Chris Rosenthal in just a few minutes. We're back in just 2 minutes.
When you
And welcome back to Fox 5 News Live on this Thursday morning. The time now 11:51. If you've looked at the calendar, you know July 4th is this weekend, and here in the city of Atlanta, you know that means the Peachtree Road Race happening right now at Lenox Square Mall. There's a Peachtree Health and Running Expo. Our Chris Rosenthal is live there with all the details. Chris, good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you. Yeah, I am here at Lenox Square Mall at the Peachtree Health and Fitness Expo. And I'll tell you, it is packed here. I showed up here about 10 o'clock this morning. There were already lots and lots of people here. And luckily, inside this tent here in the parking lot, there is, really importantly, air conditioning. But yeah, this is sort of the first section when you come in here where people come, and I'll pan around a little bit and show you where people can come and they pick up their numbers for the race. So if you are running the race, this is where you can come pick it up. And you can also sign up if you still have not signed up yet. This is the only place you can come here at the last minute and get a number. And we got enthusiastic runners here. You got your number. Awesome. You're in Wave R. Good luck. Good luck. I'll tell you, everybody here is enthusiastic and excited. And I got Lindsay Jones here. She is from Lenox Square Mall. Tell us, what do we have here? What's in store for people if they come down here?
So there's so much fun in store. We have speakers over the next 2 days. Tomorrow night we have a performance from DNC, and we have a fireworks show, which is the perfect way to kick off July 4th this year in Atlanta.
And, we can walk around here a little bit and tour here, but, we were talking about this. This is the second year you've had this back here in Lenox Mall. Talk to me a little bit about that.
So this is our second year partnering with the Atlanta Track Club to host the expo here. Obviously, with World Cup happening downtown, we wanted to bring the Peachtree Road Race back to Buckhead, where it originates. So this is the 57th running of it. There's such a long history of it really starting here in Buckhead. It's really important for us to bring back this expo. So as you can see, as we walk in, this is the Adidas section. So this is where you can get your custom Peachtree Road Race merch. So they can customize it with your name and number, all kinds of really fun things. This is the only place to get it, is here at the expo. Today and tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. in the northeast corner parking lot here at Lenox Square.
I think what's really cool too is that this is, right back here, right at the starting line, really.
Right at the starting line. If you think about the history with the 10 people that really started this 57 years ago, it's bringing back thousands and thousands of people. This is our largest running since COVID, so we're excited to have everybody back for this really fun 250th anniversary of America this July 4th.
And we can walk here a little bit more. It's a little loud here, lots of speakers, but we got lots of different seminars and things.
All the custom Peachtree Road Race merch. This is the only place you can get it, and then as we continue on, Adidas will customize it for you, so you can even make it more custom. So this is the only place you can get the merch. So you want to make sure you get it, because this is your only chance.
Yeah, I think we're coming over here. We have the customization section here as well. A lot to see. There's also some junior running tomorrow, huh?
Correct. So tomorrow morning we're doing the Peachtree Junior. So we have a few thousand kids, 12 and under, that'll run anywhere from a half mile, which is down to Piedmont and back, to a 50-yard dash with our youngest runners that are 2 and under.
Wow. And big numbers this year. I think 56,000 people registered
so far, and you can still keep registering. So come on down and register, and then once again tomorrow morning, Peachtree Junior. So we'll see all the kids 12 and under be able to really start under the official start line here at the Peachtree Road Race.
Maybe the most important thing, if people want to come here, they don't have to be a runner, and what's the cost to come here?
The cost is completely free. So it's a really fun, free thing to do over the next 2 days, getting ready for July 4th. Bring the kids. There's lots of fun vendors. There's lots of free giveaways. There's speakers. So all kinds of really fun things to do over the next 2 days.
And the cost, or at the times, rather?
The time is 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., and it is completely free here at Lenox Square. And then definitely make sure you stop in the mall. There's all kinds of great deals and offers that are continuing on when you walk through the inside of Lenox Square.
Awesome. Yeah, come on out. You can't miss the big tent here, the air-conditioned tent, of course, and lots of excitement here. Plenty of parking. Runners, whether you're running or not, come on out. This is an electric atmosphere here.
Yeah, it looks like a fun place to be. Chris Rosenthal, the world's largest 10K, a big deal every single year in our city. Thanks so much for a look at the expo that's happening at Lenox Square Mall today. We'll check back in with you throughout the day on Fox 5 News Live at 1, 2, and 3 o'clock. Chris, thanks so much. And that is going to do it for us on this busy Thursday morning. We know we were talking about the weather. We're going to continue to get an update on the forecast in just a few minutes. We're going to hear from Lauren Robinson for Fox 5 News Live, Fox 5 News at noon. You're taking a look at Lake Lanier right now, which I'm sure would feel great if you actually get in, but I'm sure just standing outside, incredibly hot day out there. Thanks so much for sticking along with us for Fox 5 News Live at 11 a.m. I'm Tyler Fingert. Fox 5 News at noon is next.
Now at noon, a family identifies a 13-year-old boy who was killed in an early double shooting. We'll tell you what we're learning about this investigation.
It's a party in the USA after the American men won their first knockout match since 2002. I'm Ashley DeBorkin in Santa Clara with a look at what's next in the tournament.
And another day with the hot and humid weather, plus some storm chances that could become severe. I'll have those details for you in my 7-day forecast coming up.
Fox 5 News at noon starts right now.
A flower shop in Cobb County destroyed when a fire erupted inside that building. This happened